Mr. Ismail, it's not the first time that we have seen clashes between the Geneva-based council and Israel. The most famous recently was the Goldstone report that investigated Israel's war crimes during the Gaza war. But how significant do you see today's step?
I think this Israeli government, it is giving us a real idea about the mentality of such a state like that. This is a state that was created by United Nations 1948, and at the same time a state that does not respect any laws of the international community of the United Nations. This is a very big problem that we face with such a state like that. So that decision, I think it's a historical decision of the Human Rights Council of the United Nations, this to investigate concerning the Jewish settlements that they are swallowing the Palestinian territories. And that is giving us also an idea about the Israeli politics about removing the Palestinian or the transfer. This is the politics of transfer, this to move the Palestinians from their lands or from their homeland where they're born. This is their homeland of their grandfathers, okay, to remove them to any other country, to live whether in Jordan, to Lebanon, on Sinai, or something like that. So this is such giving idea about that state that does not, tolerant state, does not respect any laws.
But still the issue of settlements is not such a contentious issue, I mean, in the international community, because settlements are illegal by all definitions and by all standards of international laws, and they are considered illegal in all occupied territories, and the Israeli settlement activity is definitely illegal in the Palestinian territories. So why do you think the United States has also voted against this resolution? And I'm sure you can explain the United States voting patterns in different matters, but when it comes to the issue of settlements, when they are illegal by international standards, so how do you see this voting pattern?
Also, we should distinguish between a decision from the Security Council, for example, okay, and an issue or a decision that was issued from the United Nations. This it does not need the veto or something like that, but it happens on the Security Council.
Support. It was supported by 36 members, but not the United States.
Something like that. It is just giving a support to the Palestinian people to investigate about their suffer of the settlements, of the Jewish settlements. When you think about something like that, these settlers or the Jewish settlers that they are, the Mustaltinin that they are living there, they were brought from any other countries, from wherever, okay, and they brought them on the Palestinian territories. On the same time, the homeland or the Palestinian that they live there, they demolish their houses and they do all these racist acts that the Israeli government plan to do. So it's something very furious for us, and we don't understand about this is the mentality. And this is the heritage of Israel from the Old Testament. We should go back for a while to have some flash from the history, okay, to know all the time that we have some Jewish claims that it's the priority for us in the land of Palestine. This is our land. This is the land of our grandfathers, the Hebrews. But if we read the Old Testament, the first chapters of the Old Testament, especially on the book of Genesis, it's mentioned that when Prophet Abraham, he came for the first time to Palestine, he found the Canaanites that they are living there. The Canaanites, they are the sons of Canaan. Canaan, who was the son of Ham, and Ham was the son of Noah. So, Prophet Noah, or Canaanites, they were the grandsons of Prophet Noah. So they were living there for a long time ago, before the arrival of Prophet Abraham. The Israelis, they say that, or the Jews, they say that, our grandfather is Abraham. So Abraham, when he came, he found the Canaanites, and it is mentioned on the Old Testament for them. So they should read their holy book to understand the ideas that they have from media, the Jewish media, which is they are giving lots of false ideas and false theories about the history, and the people that they don't know that, so they have this as a fact.
But does anybody even argue that it's a religious conflict? It's a political conflict.
Yes, this is the problem. This is the problem when we mix the political problem with the religious problem. Every time the Jews, they say that Palestine, it is the homeland of the Jewish people. It is our land. This is the promised land that God gave us or gave to the sons of Abraham. So from this statement, we tell them, who are the sons of Abraham? Sons of Abraham, Abraham, he had two wives, Sarah and Hagar. Hagar, she gave him firstly Ishmael. Ishmael, he is the grandfather of the Arabs. Okay, so the Arabs, they are the sons of Abraham. On the other side, 14 years after the birth of Ishmael, Sarah, she gave Abraham, the prophet, peace be upon him, she gave him another son who is called Isaac. Isaac was father of Jacob, who is Israel. So the sons of Israel, they are the Jews. So they are the sons or descendants of Abraham like the Arabs. So if God promised the sons or descendants of Abraham to have this land, so this is a right for the Arabs and the Jews on the same time. But for them, no, it is just for the Jews.
But allow me, Mr. Ismail, that also takes us to another religious argument, and that should not be the case.
But this is the case of the Israeli. They understand this point from the religious texts, from the Talmud and from the Old Testament or from the Torah. Every time they believe in this. They say that God gave us this land. God gave us Jerusalem. Even that also in the Old Testament, it's mentioned that when Abraham, prophet, he came, he found a Canaanite king who was the ruler or the king of Shalim. This is the oldest name of Jerusalem or Al-Quds. So it is mentioned that the Canaanites, they are the founder of Jerusalem. They were living there as the first people that they were living. So this is the mentality of the Jews. They understand it from religious view, so we should deal with them from a religious view. So this, according to their mind.